From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Kyle Fredrickson. Kyle, a lot of focus this week on what happened last week with the Cowboys, but obviously a huge game coming up. If the Cowboys need to get back on track to avoid a 1-2 start, and who knows, as conference play begins the next few weeks, not an easy slate. You don't want to let one loss become another. But Pitt, what a challenge, especially in the run game. How are they going to stop James Conner especially?
Yeah, here's a guy who ran for 117 yards and a touchdown in that really big win over Penn State, where Penn State gets blown out early and really climbs back. But, kudos to a Pittsburgh team to hold off a late surge. That's difficult in college football, especially early in the year. But yeah, James Conner is the guy for Pittsburgh. In 2014 as a sophomore, rushed for more than 1,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, was a guy who was on the verge of becoming, the best running back possibly in the nation. Out of the ACC, where a lot of those running backs we see recently have been SEC guys. Here's a real ACC guy who's put up big numbers as well. It's going to be a challenge for this team. They rushed all over Penn State, but the Cowboys really like the depth they have inside.
Well, and yeah, this is even though they have those great defensive tackles and 6 guys. We've seen that rotation come to pass. OSU, no Big 12 team really sees an offense like this. But the flip side is, I don't think Pitt's seeing a ton of offenses like what OSU does with the spread, the up-tempo. How does that matchup look? Especially a week after we saw OSU really struggle on third down.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a concern because I think Pitt's defense and Central Michigan's defense, they're maybe have a lot of the same type of guys. Not the long, athletic Big 12 defenders, but more of your Midwestern boys, kind of the stereotypical big, thicker defenses.
Right.
So.
Right.
The spread should exploit that. OSU has more speed than this Pitt defense, I would assume. I'm sure they've got some talented guys. I know Mason Rudolph talked about their defensive line was really athletic, but at the same time, not built from really the same recruiting base that a lot of these Big 12 defenses are with how they defend the spread. So it's clashing styles, but at the end of the day, Mason Rudolph has to make plays with his wide receivers downfield because, that's the best offense we've seen from this team so far, barring a surge in the run game.
Yeah, and as I said before, Cowboys have got to refocus after what happened last week, but considering what Pitt just did to Penn State and that potential 1-2 start, is that the kind of thing that gets a team's attention?
It has to at this point.
Right.
And it's interesting for this defense because you go 3 weeks where you face 3 different defenses. The option style of what they saw in the opener, last week with Central Michigan, and a pro style with Cooper Rush, and now they have this run first. So week to week, it's been a little bit new game plan
Right.
for a lot of young linebackers and guys who are trying to break into this rotation. So if the depth is on the same page as some of those starters, I think the Cowboys should be good. But as we saw against Central Michigan, that wasn't the case a lot of times.
All right, 2:30 kick on Saturday up in Stillwater. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.